Problem with aliens. You just can't trust them. Occasionally you meet a nice one, but usually they turn out to be some kind of big lizard.
The Skraby Show starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello and welcome into the Skraby Show for December 17th, 2024. Very short time left in 2024. You know, one thing that people tell me all the time, or told me as I was growing older, was that time is going to go by really fast the older you get. And that is absolutely true. I feel like time is flying by right now. And coming to the end of 2024 is one of those things that I just never thought would happen. It was just going to be, June forever. But it is, this year has flown by. It's been a great year. Did a bunch of Skraby Show during the year. Lots of good stuff happened here on the station for the year. So it was a good 2024 and looking forward to 2025. But this on Friday will be the last Skraby Show of 2024. So I'm going to go through and see what some of the biggest stories of the year. We're going to have a little show in review or year in review show because I like those little shows. But that will happen at the end of the week. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball pitcher, the Major League Baseball pitcher arm study. And I know we got into it on Good and Chris, but I just have a few things there. And then the breaking news that happened just now in the NFL. I'll tell you that in just a second. We'll have some golf talk. We'll also have a daily gripe. I've already given away my daily gripe, so I have another one. But the daily gripe earlier was no one should hit the second floor in an elevator when you're the only one in there. So I was in there by myself. 3 other people walked in. And instead of just taking the stairs, they hit the second floor, which really annoyed me for some reason. But that is just me in a nutshell. No, I did not say anything to them or anything like that. But that is what really annoyed me. All right. The breaking news is something we just talked about at about 5:20 today. And that would be the Falcons have benched Kirk Cousins, and they are moving towards Michael Penix Jr. starting in Week 16, and they're going to be playing the Giants. So Raheem Morris all season long said, I am not going to start Michael Penix. He's not ready. We're going to go with Kirk. He's our guy. And then, boom, Kirk is no longer the starting quarterback for this week at least. And the Falcons, I was thinking, like, why? Because I have a big problem. And Michael Penix was afforded a little bit more time than most rookies, but I have a problem with throwing rookies into bad situations. If I was a GM or coach, I would try my hardest not to throw in my rookie into situations where my team is losing, my team hasn't been very good, and my team is desperate to win to get to the playoffs. I just think you're setting up the quarterback for failure. I mean, Caleb Williams last night was taking a beating from that Vikings defense. And Caleb Williams he's shown improvements this year, but I don't know that he is fully getting better each and every week. And this is why a lot of players, or not a lot of players, but some players don't want to be drafted into a certain organization. It's like how John Elway didn't want to be drafted by the Colts, and then the Broncos drafted him. And Eli Manning, we know very well here in San Diego. Phillip Rivers came to San Diego instead of Eli Manning. I do understand why some players would not want to be drafted in the certain situations, but I don't think the Bears situation is bad enough for Caleb Williams not to, want to be drafted by them. They have good receivers. They got good offense. They just need to get that coach involved. But you see Caleb Williams, and he's just not really making the leaps I think people wanted him to make, and I don't think the Bears think he's making those leaps. Now, am I saying he's bad? No. He's definitely, at least to a certain extent, holding his own. He doesn't have a good offensive line. He doesn't have a good coaching staff, so I will factor that in. But Michael Penix is going to be starting for Kirk Cousins this weekend, and you got to think Kirk Cousins is maybe not angry because he knows how not well he's playing right now. Last night was one of the most boring games of the year, I think, between the Raiders and the Falcons. Also, one of the most boring games of the year between the Vikings and the Bears. they weren't getting anything done on offense. They weren't getting anything done. And they scored a touchdown last night, but for the most part, Kirk Cousins has been throwing so many interceptions and wasn't throwing touchdowns. He wasn't benefiting the team. And if you're a Falcon fan, if you're the Falcons owner, you gotta have to be really worried about all that money you gave Kirk Cousins, because now you're just going with the rookie quarterback. And again, I don't know if this is going to be till the end of the season type of thing. I was thinking, okay, well, can the Falcons make the playoffs? Is this why they're making a change? And they can. They have to win out their last 3 games, and Tampa Bay has to lose a game for them to get in. Atlanta does have the guaranteed tiebreakers over Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and a 3-way tie. I'm not even going to go into that because it gets complicated. But there is still a playoff chance for the Falcons. And I'm not sure what to expect from Michael Penix. So this is going to be really this is going to be actually really fun. I want to see how he plays. I am a Michael Penix fan. I saw him in the national championship, the college football playoff. I want to see what he could do, but man, he is going to be thrown into a situation where they absolutely have to win to keep the playoff hopes alive, and that is that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure on a rookie quarterback who's never made a start in the NFL. I don't even know if we've seen him this year. I don't even think we've seen him this year. Dominic says, man, the NFL has changed. Caleb Williams has played 14 professional games. 14! Yeah, I know. I know he's played 14 games. And again, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that I would much rather my high-priced rookie quarterback take the year off and learn rather than have to play right away. The NFL definitely has changed in that way, where if you're drafted as a rookie, you're stepping right in and you're expected to be the starter, which I think some rookies are ready to do that more so than other pros in the past, but it's a tough thing to do. I've said it before. The 49ers, to me, ruined Alex Smith's, not ruined his career, but really didn't help his career. He was the number 1 overall draft pick, started playing for the Niners. They weren't very good. He wasn't very good, and he was just kind of labeled as a bust. I don't understand it. I also think that when you're investing money into these guys, you are going to want to see it through. And that's why Kirk Cousins going to the bench is a little surprising to me. Also, the new rookie quarterback pay scale is also forces teams into putting out their rookie quarterbacks early, because you have to know whether or not this is the guy that you're going to want to go with into the future, blah, 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 blah. So, it's how the NFL is today. And granted, Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie. He's playing pretty well on a team that no one thought was going to be good. So it's really just all about coaching, in my opinion, and front office. But coaching is huge for these guys. And Kirk Cousins is going to be watching from the bench. I don't know what happened to Kirk Cousins. I really didn't think he was going to be this bad. Throughout the year, he's had some moments. And last year at the Vikings, he wasn't terrible. He tore his Achilles. But he looks like a completely different quarterback this year. Like a completely different quarterback. And I don't know what it is. But Adam Klug, my boss, has been telling me since they signed Kirk Cousins that this was going to be a mistake. And it's turning out to be a mistake. So we'll see what happens. But that's a lot of money that they've invested into Kirk Cousins for him to tutor Michael Penix Jr. I'm excited to see what he has, though. All right, let's see here. Let's go to the chat for the roll call. We got Trevor, we got Dan, we got Dominic, Katrina, Maria. We have Bernice is here. Thank you, Bernice, for showing up. We also have Brandon, I know was here earlier, M. McKee. We got a lot of people here on the chat, and I just don't want to miss anyone, but I also don't want to say someone twice. Blue Meanie, Oscar. So thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan. We had and if you want to watch on YouTube, you can. Just search 97.3 The Fan. You can find the broadcast on the 97.3 YouTube page. Just click there. You'll be taken into the Skraby community. We talked a little bit earlier in Padres Pen Pals about Dylan Cease and how he is likely to be traded before the end of the year because he is a valuable piece that AJ Preller can use to build up the team a little bit. But this is from one of our chatters, Blue Meanie. Blue Meanie says, if we are hurting for a pitcher, why are we talking about getting rid of a pitcher, which is Dylan Cease? I get this question a lot, actually, and it makes sense. But at the same time, here's my thought on the whole thing. Dylan Cease is going to be a guy who's going to command lots and lots and lots of money after this year. Michael King is going to be a guy who's going to command lots and lots and lots and lots of money after this year. Going into this year, you got to figure out how to build up this team and make those creative moves to keep this team going. And yes, you're getting rid of a pitcher while you need pitchers, but you might be able to get more than one pitcher for a trade of Dylan Cease. And so that's why you're really trying to maximize what you have in Dylan Cease. You got him over here for a full year. We saw that he was inconsistent. He was really good at times. He was not good at times. And he wasn't good in the playoffs. And so that hurt the team a lot. But I'm not saying you should get rid of him because of that. I'm saying that he is going to help. If they do trade him, he is going to help get some players on this team and maximize his value. I know it doesn't sound like a great idea. I know that it doesn't feel good to keep trading stars, but I do think that if AJ Preller can work a deal that brings back some serviceable players that are major league ready and some prospects, I think that that's a good deal. As long as you can get something that the Padres could use this coming year, and it's something that is going to end up being a benefit for them, I think you have to do it. I really do. It's just really something that I learned in the Juan Soto trade last year. Even though Tony didn't want Juan Soto to go, others didn't want Juan Soto to go, he definitely wanted to, or it was something that was necessary for this team to get to the point that they did last year. So before we all go to the point of, man, I hate that they're trading Dylan Cease, or they may trade Dylan Cease, let's, number one, wait and see what happens here, because I don't think they're just going to trade him for nothing. They have to have the right deal. And B, maybe someone comes back in this trade that's going to be a long-term pitcher. I don't know. AJ's done some crazy things before. He's done some creative things before, but Blue Meanie is again here. We can use Cease this year. Yes, but you're not going to get anything for him. He's a commodity. He's like coffee beans or whatever. He's someone who is going to net something better for you. And at the end of the year, if you don't trade him or sign him, he's just going to go for free. So it's almost like the trade for Dylan Cease last year was really for nothing if they don't win a championship, and if they don't win a championship and he's still on the team, they're just going to get nothing for him. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you have to, unfortunately, I have to think of the future. We all have to think of the future. And it doesn't seem like Dylan Cease is a guy who's going to be signed to a 8-year, $200-and-something million deal. They need someone that they can, well, they're going to have to save money for Michael King, number one. And number two, they're going to have to find out how to round out this rotation if they're going to trade Dylan Cease. If they don't trade Dylan Cease, I'm also happy. But I want to see him pitch well. And I want to see them really, I want to see them go for a championship with the team that they, for the most part, had last year. I know there's going to be different pieces moved. Jerickson Profar's not back yet. But I really want to see the team that they put together last year with a few new additions make that same run for next year. All right. We are heading to our first break. Welsh Fryer is here all the way from Wales. Thank you, Welsh Fryer. And I missed your birthday. Happy birthday, Welsh Fryer. I think it was last week, so really appreciate you checking in on your birthday last week. When we get back, we are going to talk about live golf a little bit. And I also need some help with something I'm going to be doing with my dog Lucky next week. So we'll talk about that when we get back here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem.
Blue Meanie is living up to his name today. After talking about Dylan Cease, Blue Meanie started this whole conversation about Dylan Cease. Blue Meanie says on the chat, all of a sudden all these media members are GMs and want to trade the future. The future is now. The future is next year. What about the future of 2026 when everybody's complaining about, man, I wish they would have traded Dylan Cease because now we get nothing for him? It will happen. That's also something I've learned in the 7 years of doing sports talk on this show, is that we will complain about things that haven't happened, and we'll complain about the same things we're complaining about that do happen. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Blue Meanie. You got to maximize things. And honestly, I'd rather get something out of it than lose it. You have to. You have to. Last year, no one wanted to trade Juan Soto. Michael King's in town. Michael King comes to town. Who else? Higashioka came to town. Vasquez came to town. Hey, who knows if those guys are going to contribute this year? Maybe they take a next step. We don't know these things. But what I do know is you don't want to get to the end of next year if you haven't won a championship and you're letting Dylan Cease walk into free agency. It's just not good. It's just not good. You have to think ahead, in my opinion. Apparently, the Florida Gators, are now 11-0, and they have won against North Carolina 90-84. So I believe I win that bet. Thank you very much, Florida Gators, for making me look good. So there you go, 11-0. We're going to talk about golf in just a second. But I, next week, am going to be going up into my sister's cabin area, which is way up north. It's like near the Oregon border. So it's a long drive. It's a long drive. I think last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember when I went. Maybe it was last year. It took me from the cabin to my house. It took me 13 hours to drive home. And that was with 2 dogs. And I got to say, I think I've already mentioned this. The dogs were very good, and they were very calm, and I couldn't have asked for better dogs on the trip home. However, when we got stuck in traffic in LA, I knew that they were done with the car, and so was I, to be honest. So it was just me begging them to be quiet for a little bit longer, sit down for a little bit longer so that we can get home. But now that I have to do this again, I am trying to think about what I should do on the way up and on the way back. And I don't know if anybody has ever driven really far with their dog. But what I'm thinking of doing is looking up and finding a couple dog parks along the way. Because basically, if I let the dogs go run around the dog park, then they're going to go and sleep in the car. But here's what happened to me last year as well. I forgot their leashes, and so I wasn't able to really let them stray too far from the car. But I'm thinking about scheduling some dog park visits on the way up. Anybody ever been to a random dog park in the middle of California on a drive up to Northern California? Is it safe for the dogs to be there? I don't know. I'm looking on the chat to see if anybody has any dog park things, but we don't have any now. So if you have any dog park suggestions for me, let me know, because I cannot sit in another car for 12 straight hours or 13 hours with these dogs. I feel bad for them, honestly. I mean, Lucky is my guy, but he can be pretty annoying at times. He can be so annoying at times, actually. This morning, he barked at me, and he just sits there, and he acts all tough. I'm going to take a picture of him next time he does this. Next time Lucky sits and basically tells me that I am not paying attention to him, I'm going to take a picture of it, because he looks very serious. He's got a very serious face on when he wants to go for a walk. All right. Fox Sports Live Golf. Now, if you've listened to the show for a very long time, you know that I'm a huge golf guy. I love professional golf, loved professional golf. And although I know the PGA Tour needed to do some updating, not very happy with what happened with PGA Tour and Live Golf. I'm not very happy with the division right down the middle, and both sides are at fault. It's not one side over the other. I think both sides are at fault. The PGA Tour, super greedy and wanted to take everything from the players. The Live Tour, money grab. Just throwing money at people, just hoping that they come. This is another thing, and I'm going off on a tangent a little bit. I think people with money think that, hey, if I just throw a bunch of money into a new golf league, people are going to want to go to. I'm going to get all the stars. I'm going to get Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, not Scotty Scheffler because he's actually a PGA Tour guy, but you get what I'm saying. Jon Rahm. And these rich people just think, hey, we're just going to make money. We're going to print money because we're just going to provide this for everybody and everybody's going to love it. It doesn't work that way. It's got to be good. You can't just throw money at something and expect it to be good and expect it to grow. And I don't, it's like with the soccer team, SDFC here in San Diego, I haven't seen anything, advertising wise. And I am right in the mix of all of these different websites in town going to San Diego Union Tribune. Now, maybe I'm just missing it, or maybe I'm not. Google is not putting me as someone that needs to see those ads. So maybe I'm wrong there. But it seems like with a team, a brand new expansion team coming up here in February or March, there's very little buzz about this team. And I know it's an expansion year, but expansion teams create lots of buzz. So I don't know what it is, and I don't think that the owners and the people that run SDFC are in it for a money grab or anything like that, because it just doesn't work that way in professional sports. But I'm not sure where the marketing is, and I'm not sure why they're not trying to sell people more on this team. And the same goes for Liv. I know I got on a tangent there for Liv, because Liv was Saudi backed. And a lot of money was put into Liv, and so the Liv owners thought, hey, we're just going to steal all the best golfers in the world, and we're going to put on some tournaments, and everybody's going to watch, and we're going to be the best golf organization in the entire world, and PGA Tour is going to go away. Well, they didn't expect for some players to side with the PGA Tour. Anyway, long story short, there's a new commissioner and CEO of Liv Golf, or he's going to be. Expected to be named Scott O'Neill. And he is negotiating a deal, supposedly, sources, to get Fox to broadcast their golf tournaments. Now, this is why I don't understand why Fox would want to do this, and why Fox, I can't figure this one out, because all the articles I'm reading do not tell me this one fact. Is Fox paying them to air their golf tournaments, or is Liv paying Fox to air the golf tournaments? Because back in 2022, Liv and FS1 were very close to a deal that would have brought Liv to FS1. But at the time, they did say that Liv was going to buy time on FS1. When the CW is the one that actually ended up taking the TV deal on, broadcasts were a little bit rough. But the CW put Liv into, according to the Sports Business Journal, into about 120 million homes. And over 2 years broadcasting these events, they were struggling to get viewers. And last August, in the Greenbrier tournament, Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka went head-to-head down the stretch. But the final round only averaged 165,000 viewers, which is not a lot. Like, not a lot. If you're in the grand scheme of things on TV, 165,000 viewers is you getting beat by everyone else. But Liv in 2025 is going to schedule their tournaments around Fox's schedule. And they're going to try to keep it so that, just like the PGA Tour, their end of the year tournaments are actually going to end before football starts, which is a big time for Fox with college football and the NFL. And so this could be coming through soon-ish. there's been more and more and more talk about this. So it seems like when you get a lot of talk about something, that's going to end up happening. And will I watch Live Golf? Yeah, I'll give it a go. There's just things I'm not used to with Live Golf, and it's like this is gonna make me sound like I'm 90 years old, but I don't like golf or music during golf. I just don't. And I know there's many people who do, and that's fine. But I'm not a big music guy, and they blast music during the golf events. They also have drones that John Rahm hates, and they get all mad when John Rahm is trying to swing and the drone is like moving around him. I will give it a go, but it's just not a format that I'm interested in. It's team golf. It seems very gimmicky, and so I'm going to have to give it a go some more to see if I'm right about this. But if Liv does come to Fox, and Fox is airing their golf tournaments, that's a big win for Liv. That is a huge win. Now, depending on if you have to pay or if Fox is paying you. If Fox is paying Liv, that's a massive win. If they're paying Fox, it's not so much of a massive win, but it still is a win because you're going to get into so many different households across the country that you never really get into. And also, Fox has already done the broadcasting thing in golf. People didn't like it. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay because they were trying new things, but they already have some sort of infrastructure set up. So this could take over in 2025, and Live could be what people are watching on Fox. And then on CBS, you got the PGA Tour, NBC. So if Liv does end up getting on Fox, this is going to help them in a major way. And it's going to hurt the PGA Tour in a major way. You don't want someone who's able to click the channels up and down and find Live Golf. You were happy as the PGA Tour when they were buried on the CW because no one knows what channel CW is anyway. But they know what channel Fox is, and Fox will give all the promotion to it. But we'll keep an eye on that. It's major movement for something that has not moved a lot lately, which is the golf world. Thank you, everybody, for letting me talk about golf and letting me talk about Live Golf because I don't get to do that too often. All right, we have the Daily Gripe to go still, and we also have Frontier Airlines. This is when we get into like the random news stories of the day. Frontier Airlines, the CEO, called people who carry on bags thieves. Thieves, criminals. We'll talk about that, and we'll also get into the Daily Gripe when we get back on the Skraby Show on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and
right, final segment here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan. There's the Skrabinators out there, I'm gathering from the chat and from the Discord. Skrabinators are planning a Skrabinator get-together for Monday. I don't know. This is not official. I'm just gathering information as we speak. I will bring you more information if there is more available soon. Matt Skraby, you can follow me on Twitter at Matt Skraby or Instagram, MattsKraby as in boy Y. You can also go to YouTube and watch us right now. You search 97.3 The Fan. You'll be able to find the page. You can just click on the live broadcast there, and you will be able to watch and talk about everything with all of the other Skrabinators. There's a lot going on with the Skrabinator night. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to get back to everybody in the next couple days. I have to admit something actually kind of embarrassing for me, which is not strange or new in any way. But there's two things embarrassing. I love Reddit. I don't necessarily ever post on Reddit or anything, but I love getting into Reddit threads, and I love seeing all the crazy opinions that are out there. But as of late, I have been reading a lot about these drones that are flying everywhere. No one really knows what they are. I read last night they're radiation detectors. I don't know if that's true. Probably not. But hey, at least that was a different thing that I read instead of just it was aliens. But anyway, first embarrassing thing. Reddit pops up with like different popular posts that they think I'm going to like. So it's like a push notification. And the aliens subreddit is just popping up on my phone all the time now. And that's really embarrassing. But not as embarrassing as this. I was driving home last night. And I was stopped at a stoplight. And I looked up into the sky, seeing if I could find any of these drones. Yes, I know. I'm a weirdo. But I looked up into the sky, and I'm looking around, not seeing anything. So I keep driving, stop at the next stoplight, and I look up in the sky again. And I see something. I see this, it looks like a little drone. And it looks like some of these pictures that I've been seeing out there. And it was really strange. So I'm sitting there at this light, and I'm like, is this a drone? Is this happening right now? Am I actually seeing one of these drones right now? So I took out my phone, and I got it's my flight app, which is called Flight Aware. And immediately, you can go search the map for any sort of plane flying in the area. And so I got to the map, and I refreshed it, and I looked, and there was no planes in the area. So I'm thinking, this has to be a drone. It has to be if there's no planes in the area. So I refreshed again, and a plane popped up on my map. It was just a plane, everyone. It wasn't a drone. It was just a plane. I wish that it was a drone. I wish I was one of those people who were able to say that I saw the drones, but I have not seen any drones, and I'm going to continue to keep looking for these drones. You know what? Probably the best spot for me to look for aliens is man, I'm getting weird now. Is at my sister's place up in Northern California. Her cabin is in the middle of nowhere, and there's not many streetlights or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to see what's going on in the sky. Katrina says, my neighbor freaked out over a streetlight in fog thinking it was a drone. Well, I'm not like that. I can tell if it's a streetlight in fog, but I did feel pretty stupid after I realized that it was just a plane and not a drone. So there you go. I'm not afraid to admit things like that. I'm not afraid to tell people about my weird stopping at a light to look at a drone. I'm not afraid. That's what you're going to get on this show, Skraby Show, and more of it in 2025, I think. But I really do hope I get to see a drone one of these days. I don't know if anybody believes in those things. I know we've been talking about it a little bit, but man. See, someone on the chat right now says, I am an FAA drone pilot. Ask me anything. But the name is seems like a throwaway account. I do love that when experts come out of nowhere and well, experts come out of nowhere, and they don't have any expertise to show me. I mean, I don't have any proof. Anyway, that was me, and that was embarrassing. Now, Frontier Airlines, they're going to be doing something here soon, and it's called it's an unlimited flight pass. It's an all-you-can-fly pass, and it's called Go Wild. I yelled it because it says Geo Wild with an exclamation point. But apparently, if you buy it, this limited time offer available right now for $299 a year, you can fly unlimited on Frontier Airlines for the year. $299. Here's the other thing. It automatically renews at $699. So you're going to have to make sure you turn off the automatic renew thing, because that's a whole different, that's like $400 more. But the Go Wild Pass, this is basically made for one thing. The spontaneous traveler is what they're calling it. Here is what the not scam, I guess it's not a scam, but here is the deal with buying this pass and then trying to get unlimited flights. According to the airline's website, search and book on flyfrontier.com says you have to book the day before flight departure for domestic travel and 10 days before flight departure for international travel. So basically, you have to decide that you're going to go somewhere and then hope that you could book a flight and then get on that flight the next day. It's not as cool as we all think it is. It's not really the unlimited flight that I thought at one time, because to me, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to schedule all my vacations for the year. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. I have all my airfare. I only paid $299 for it. But no, that's not it. There's going to be blackout periods. There's no early booking. And the actual pass is valid between May 1st, 2025 and April 30th, 2026. But if you're interested in that, go to Frontier Airlines website, because $299, if you're someone who could just pick up and leave at a moment's notice, this might be actually pretty good for you, because that would work if I was someone who could do that. Now, here's where I don't like. Here's what I don't like Frontier for. I forgot the airline's name for a second. Here's what I don't like with Frontier. Their CEO, Barry Biffle, which is kind of a funny name for a CEO, Barry Biffle, he is calling, the government got involved here because I guess Frontier has a practice of paying gate agents as much as $10 for catching travelers attempting to avoid paying for the carry-on baggage, which, again, you're paying for carry-on baggage. So Barry Biffle, what's his name? Is his name Barry? I forgot already. Barry, that's it. Barry Biffle. He called people who try to get on the plane without paying the stupid bag fees shoplifters. People are stealing, and they're criminals. I don't, for 1 second, believe that the bag fee that it costs to get one of your bags on the plane, I feel like this is just an extra fee that all the airlines charge, because it was always free before, and now all of a sudden you need to charge for a ton of things. And to call me a criminal, I think I pretty much don't want to fly Frontier anymore, because I have flown Frontier before. I don't know if anybody else has. Frontier, is a discount airline. It's not the greatest airline in the world, but they charge you for everything. And Barry Biffle's very excited about President-elect Donald Trump, because he said, there's going to be an unshackling. We're going to focus on things that matter, like safety, and stop worrying about regulating prices and regulating experiences. I do love when CEOs come up with their own little spin on things. It's really fun, actually. When they're like, you know what? We've been bogged down in spending so much money on how much to charge you and how much bags should cost that we haven't been focusing on safety. So now that the regulatory environment is going to be different, we are going to focus on safety. There you go. That's what Barry Biffle did. I thought this was going to go better when I first read it. I thought this was going to create more controversy, but it's not really creating that much controversy. And Welsh Fryer said, this is prime off-season talk. And I 100% agree with you, Welsh Fryer. I am not going to be talking about Frontier Airlines on June 17th when the Padres are leading the division. That's not going to happen. Dominic says the fees are ridiculous, but people who drag on a bunch of bags and fiddle with the overheads getting on and off the plane are annoying. I agree with that. They are pretty annoying. But when you get on a plane, you got to be ready to go. That's what I have to say about the people that are annoying. Let's see. M. McKee says, is this what Annie caught you researching today? UFOs and drones? Huh. Annie Halbrin did come back to say hi before our show started, and her show was in a commercial break. And she caught me watching Netflix's Investigation Alien, which is a guy named Richard Knapp, who is a longtime reporter on different UFO things. I feel like I've talked about the UFOs way too much tonight, but again, not much happening in the sports world. Michael Penix Jr. starting for Kirk Cousins. Cody Bellinger was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees. It's pretty much it for news today. But she caught me watching that in the back, and I was like, oh, don't worry, I'm just doing my research. And she thought it was really funny. I have not gotten into a conversation with Annie about aliens. Maybe that's something I need to do in the near future. I gotta see where Annie falls on the alien race. Now, if Annie is listening right now and she wants to text me and tell me, that would be great. But I will do some investigation, because I don't think Annie's a UFO person. I don't think Annie, and I'm speaking for Annie, but I don't think Annie would ever watch something like Investigation Alien. I don't know why, but that just strikes me as that way. That she wouldn't waste her time with a 6-episode documentary about different alien close encounters. Yes. All right. Time for me to get out of the alien world.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
All right. Daily Gripe is actually something that happened to me last week, but I found it so ridiculous that I needed to write it down in my little sheet and go from there. And the Daily Gripe for today is this. I wanted to test, I've said I'm a spelling bee champion. I've said it many times. 3rd grade spelling bee champion, chlorofluorocarbons was my winning word. I wanted to test my spelling skills because the guys in here say I wouldn't win a spelling bee. So I searched for spelling bee games, and I couldn't find it on the internet. And I was very annoyed because I thought you could basically do anything on the internet. So as I am mad at the internet, I keep searching, and I did find those games where the letters are jumbled and you have to spell words out of the letters. So there's 6 letters and they're all messed up. So you have to find words and you have to spell words out of that. But then it hit me. And here's where I'm very, very dumb. Very dumb. I realized in order to do a spelling bee, you basically on a computer by yourself have to read the word. So that's why I couldn't find a spelling bee. I was dumb enough to think I was going to find a spelling bee, even though they have to flash up the word on the screen, and I could not find an audio version. So the word would literally have to be in front of me on the screen, and that would defeat the purpose of a traditional spelling bee game. And boom. That's why I feel like a dummy, and that's my gripe. I spent a good 20-25 minutes trying to find this spelling bee game. Realized it's a never mind. Everybody knows what I realized already. All right, that's it for the Skraby Show. Thanks, everybody, for joining me tonight. We will be back tomorrow with some more Gwen and Chris. Ben and Wood start at 6 a.m., Annie and Elston at 10 a.m., and another Skraby Show tomorrow night. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for listening.